Pathmonk is the AI for website conversions. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in the buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmonk qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50% by adding Pathmonk to your website in seconds, by letting the AI do all the work and increase conversions while you keep doing marketing as usual. Check us out on pathmonk.com. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Pathmonk Presents. Today we're joined by Souhail Alaoui. He's the marketing and e-commerce manager at Vaonis. How's it going, Souhail?
Hi. Nice to meet you, and thank you for having me at your show.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to have you, and we're also excited to know a little bit more about the work you guys are doing and what's the big idea behind your company. So maybe we start with that. If you were explaining what you do to a friend over coffee, so how would you describe what you do?
If I had to describe it like in one sentence, what we do is we pioneer the field of smart telescopes. It's like a hybrid between like a camera and a telescope. And actually, when you are into astronomy and traditional astronomy, you know it's really powerful because what you get with it and what you get with the equipment. But there are a lot of hurdles to it because it requires like technical skills, manual knowledge, patience, especially the devices are bulky, etc. And what we do at Vaonis is that we remove all the complexity by combining like optics, robotics, software, and everything mastered from an app. So all you have to do is just place your smart telescope outside. You turn it on, and you have an app that we have specially designed for it, and you can just like point the objects you want to see on the night sky, and it does everything for you. So from the tracking, alignment, image processing, etc. And the idea is like making astronomy really accessible, not only for beginners, but even like for amateurs, etc. So the idea behind it is really reconnecting people to the night sky and sky wonders with an easy way and really accessible way for it.
That's awesome. Look, I'm gonna admit, even just looking at your website, I was wondering, right? Just like looking at it, and I'm like, it feels like I'm looking at the nice guy right now. But I'm curious. You just touched on it briefly, right? You said the amateurs. The What kind of customer is the best fit for your product? Is it the expert? Is it the person that's just getting into things? Is there a product range for all kinds of customers? How does that work for you guys?
Actually, like our user range is like really from complete beginners to experienced amateur astronomers. So what these users have all in common is or frustration with traditional astronomy tools, or only curiosity because you can be an advanced astronomer, but you are a bit fed up of the bulky and complicated to set up devices, or you can only hooked by curiosity to space and the wonder of it, and we can curate these one too. And the problem we solve for both targets at it's we solve like a technical and a psychological problem. So we remove this fear that everybody has, doing it wrong or not doing it on the right way, and we replace everything like just with confidence and enjoyment because with our app and the device and the way it's designed, you just click on one button and you just take time to wonder. So you can more focus on the outcome rather than like the settings and the setup, etc. So
That's
they
good.
can
That's
both
good.
find like a good fit for them. So that's why our products are really used like by families, educators, or even people who just want to learn more about space without barriers.
That's amazing. And I guess in a way, like I'm thinking about it as a father, right? And I loved when back in the day, my dad, had this big telescope. We went to buy it together, and it was, back then it was pretty expensive. And these days, you can still spend a lot on a telescope, but
Hmm.
I just remember like the feeling of being able to just look into the sky and into space, and it was amazing. And I guess, in a way, your products might be able to help. dad, maybe even myself, right? When my kids are old enough to be even remotely interested. And I think you can start this at a pretty young age just to
Mhm.
look into that and, not have to worry about the settings or, the setup as much. Would that be a
Exactly.
use case, do you think? Or,
Well, it's typically a use case, and, and me the first as a dad, it's like something really cool because you spend the quality time with your kids. You don't focus on the tool itself, but you focus on the outcome, and the outcome is really something wonderful. And we are really focused on the user experience. So when you have something like this, we try to make it as easy as possible, and especially like as flawless as possible in the terms of experience, which is really cool when you try to spend like some quality time with your kids or your family or even with friends sometimes on a night to to practice something that is a bit different from what you are used to do on a daily basis. So
of
we
course.
typically have this use case scenario on our user.
Okay, that's interesting. I touched personally on this. I asked you about, the website because I think it's very beautifully done as far as
Thank
aesthetics.
you.
Um, Now I'm curious, how much of a role does your website play in pulling in new customers? And is there anything about it from a conversion perspective that you think really works, or maybe anything you got your eye on improving?
You get the right point there because our website is really like a central piece in our acquisition strategy and even our brand awareness strategy because our products are innovative and it's not something usual when you see the shape or you see even the field of smart telescopes. It's something new, not many people know about it. And also it has a positioning that is really premium. So people need time to understand the products and especially to see how it works, whether they are right for them or not. And our website serves as a showroom first, and also as an educational platform because we don't only explain products, but we explain how it works, what you will get with them when you are using them, and we go even further explaining what you are seeing in the night sky. So the website really is like it's a central piece in our communication and all the things we do, whether it's for us as a B2C, so direct to consumers from our website, or even for our resellers who find like a lot of info for the products here. We one of our strengths at Vaonis is our visual storytelling because as you can see, it's really immersive. We spend a lot of time adjusting details of the visuals and all the shots and illustration and situations of the products, etc. So it's a key challenge for us, but we spend a lot of time on the website. And by the way, it's one like of my missions that it's the most time consuming on all the things that I do on the daily basis.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it's also one of the things that you don't really like the visual storytelling is spot on because you don't really need to explain to someone what they're looking at when they're looking at the starry sky, right? We all look up at some
Yeah,
point, and especially if you live in a city, I noticed you forget like how much in awe you can actually be when you look at an actual starry
exactly.
sky, right?
Some
So.
cities are so light polluted, so you even lose this connection you have with the sky. So you can see it by day, but by night it's like just just like not even dark enough to see the stars. So when you use these telescopes, it makes the first thing we hear people say that when you use it. So wow, I couldn't imagine like we had things on top of us like this, and that's something really cool. And that's the first satisfaction we got from the users when they use it. So that's yeah, for sure. In the city, it's something like we are losing in our daily lives.
I love it. Let's switch gears for a second and maybe talk about you as a leader, Souhail. So, what does a typical workday look like for you, and what are the main things you focus on day to day?
So I want to say that I focus more on strategy and execution, but on a daily basis, like I'm more hooked into like performance and revenue because strategy is good, but we are in a fast-paced environment, so things are keep moving like very quickly. We have innovations from everywhere. We have opportunities right now with AI and all the things that are that are launched on a day to day. So we try to keep up with it. But if I come back to the day to day things, I focus a lot on testing things, adjusting stuff on the website, like optimizing acquisition channels and funnels, the messaging. And as we operate globally, it's a bit of a challenge for us, like to get the message to be streamlined for all the countries and all the cultures that we are targeting. And that's not something easy because we might think that it's just a translation of text or translation of visuals, etc. And you just spread them across all the channels. But we spend a lot of time adjusting all the things. But by the way, I didn't say it, but we are based in France, but we operate globally. Our main market is in the US. And we can see the difference just between, like, for example, when we produce French content and English content, we see that even if everyone speaks English here in the company, and we, by the way, speak French too, but we can see the difference and the between when you don't use the right wording, and the wording is really important for us when you are like focused on storytelling. We need to get the right words and the right image to make like the message spot on, etc. So it takes a lot of time, and I have things also in my role about strategy. So how to position products, how to keep like the user experience like really flawless, whether it is you are placed in the top of the funnel, or even if you are already a client for us. So how to be like even turn clients into ambassadors, etc. Because one of our main channels of acquisition is the community that we have created with our smart telescopes and early adopters. So I spend a lot of time to see how they are going, because we have groups, we have like forums, etc. Our users, and to keep like an eye of on all like the how to say all the insights that can come from there, whether it's to improve our products or whether it's like innovations that might be like we have that might be an opportunity for us to produce or things like that. So it takes time. And on top of all this, we have like last time or last minute things to adjust, or emergencies or product launches, etc. So we we don't have enough time in a day to do all
Mm.
this, but it's fun enough. And that's why we like this kind of fast-paced environment.
Yeah, I mean that's the it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because it's
Exactly.
what keeps you on your feet and think quickly, and it's all exciting at times, but also can be a little bit stressful. I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Now you
Especially
talked
that you have
about
like a lot of content out there. Like sometimes you want like to learn also and to stay up to date with things and what are like the latest trends, etc. And with all this as leader, you don't have enough time. So you take like minutes and like everywhere to try to keep up with everything, and not only be in an execution role, or like very like too focused on execution.
That's a good point. I was actually going to ask you a little bit about that because you talked about insights and, well, how do you stay up to date? Is there anything you turn to for inspiration or staying ahead, like, books or videos, courses, or anything like that?
So I'm not really, it's something like weird for my role, but I'm not really into social media. I spend more time on LinkedIn and
Hmm.
on podcasts, etc. But there are some quality podcasts that I love, and I think they are like they bring a lot of value. I don't know if I can say some examples right here, but I follow like the Doe by Chris Doe. So it
Hmm.
brings a lot of insights of it brings a lot of value about positioning, about perception, leadership, etc. And they invite like people from different backgrounds, so you can compare to what you are doing, what they are doing the best, etc. So we try. It helps to be up to date. And here sorry, we have a big scene of entrepreneurs that in various domains that produce their podcasts, etc. So I try to keep up with them to stay trends. And of course, you read like specialized stuff like acquisitions and converting magazine, etc. So yeah, I try as much as I can to follow them, and things are moving really fast. So especially with AI and all the things going out there on the market. So I try as much as I can. But when you talked about books, I read more books that like can bring value globally to me rather than just on my field. I don't know if I take like one of them, it's like the Delivering Happiness, for example. I really love this one because it's not about marketing, it's not
Mm,
about like operations, etc. But I really love the idea of like it's helped me to reconnect to the idea that everything should start with the user, not the product. And you can transpose this to any domain. So not only for us in the book, they are like in the customer support, but you can use this on the acquisition, you can use this on a store, you can use this in retail, etc. And really loved how the insight about how company culture, the customer experience, and long-term success are really connected together and deeply connected together. So as a marketer, I try to take insights from this book and to implement them on my daily basis, like to keep an eye on the experience and to keep an eye on the customer more than the products or more than the tools. So that one helped a lot, and I really love the way it's done and the way it's easy to read. So
mm,
I
mm.
recommend I recommend this one to everyone.
Thanks for the recommendation. And I think that's an interesting just mindset to have when you focus on the user or the customer, on the person at the end of the day, right? To have that in
Exactly.
the back of your mind and just how do you make it the best experience possible for them? And that trickles down into like how you develop something, how you sell something, how you market it. I think it's a really good mindset to have overall. And I'm not surprised by because you mentioned the dough. And I think, with him being a designer for background, and personally, I can relate because I'm also a designer by background.
I
That
am too.
attention.
So,
Oh, sweet. There you go then.
yeah.
So we're all
So
speaking the
the three
same
of us.
language, right?
Exactly.
We're focusing on the user first, and how can we solve problems for them, and um, and then everything else kind of like is a byproduct of it as quality goes, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And it's something like if like if I can advise like young marketers, even me when I was young, it's like fall in love with the user, but not on the tools and not on tactics, etc. Because it means more than this. And for long-term success, it's like it will be the user that will bring it and not the tools because tools change, tactics and strategy change with depending on countries, cultures, etc. But the user, if you focus on them, or sorry, the users, so you get more insights and you know what you have to do, like to bring them the best value or the better from the products or for the experience they have on your website or even on the delivery. So yeah, the Dough one is it's really something like it's powerful and I really love this. And as you said, you are a designer on background. My background too is from design, so it resonates on me. So I love
Yeah,
this one.
speaking the same language. I love it.
Yeah.
So we have a rapid fire segment of this podcast. I wouldn't want to skip it, So, okay, do you mind if we dedicate a couple minutes to that? There's a couple of
Yeah,
questions that actually might relate to what we're just talking about. Is that okay with you?
yeah, sure.
All right, all right. So, if you had a magic wand and could fix one frustrating thing in your life with tech, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to your role, what would you pick?
Um, the first one, I think a lot of marketers may have told you, but attribution. It's
Hmm.
something really complex on the day to day. Like every marketer faces the challenge of knowing what really drives conversion. It's really complex with that users in our website, for example, in a high ticket field like ours, you have a multi-touch journey. So you never know from where it starts and what led the user to finish on your website and to be a customer on of yours. So it's really something like if I had a magic wand and I can just click on the user and say, okay, this one comes from here, and not the last click, but I really mean like the whole journey. It's something cool. And maybe if I had a tool, like it's something that describes like the emotion on of the user. I don't know how to
Like a
do you say it
customer
like
mapping
better?
journey
Because
or something like that.
yeah, because like we are very good at measuring behavior, like clicks, funnels, conversion, etc. Uh, we have tools that are awesome, like Hotjar, Lucky Orange, like to see like the heat map and how the user you moves on your website, the clicks, etc. But we always still struggle like to understand how content make really people feel when you click, when you see that image that I'm showing you on the landing page, on when you see the price, or where you see colors, or the first time we reveal the product on a page, etc. We can't measure this. And if I had a magic wand, I would love to know like it's joy, happiness, frustration, things
Right,
like
right,
this.
right.
That would help a lot, like to get a better positioning and to be more spot on the message and the way we present things on the website and globally in
Hmm.
the customer journey.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting one. I like that, that emotional kind of journey that they're on. So yeah, that's something to think about. I'm sure there's someone out there that kind of like already working on it, but
So
please do reach out if you do, guys. This is
exactly.
something interesting. So as we wrap things up, I want to first and foremost, I want to thank you for being on the show with us today. I also want to give you the last word. So with this last one, if someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is the one thing that you should remember about the work you guys are doing?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you too, especially for having me, and it was a real pleasure to do this interview with you. Now, if I got to say something like a small word to finish, it's we we created products starting by the user experience rather than optics, etc. And our products are really made to reconnect people with the sky, and that's something we are losing in our cities and our polluted cities and our hectic lifestyle, etc. So even if you don't have time to just go back and relax and take some time like to wonder, our products will help you to do this. We make smart telescopes that really reconnect you to the universe and the cosmos, and we try to make them like as accessible as possible. So if you want to take a look, just go to our website, so vaonis.com, and have a look at the products. And if you have any questions or anything on your mind, just reach us and we'll be happy to help. So, that's it about the company and what we do on that.
Perfect. Well, look, I know myself, I'm going to spend some more time checking out the website. Of course, I did before we met. But it's a really interesting proposition just to be able to, to look at the starry skies and the planets and, just takes me back a little bit. So it's an emotional one for me for sure. So if you want to
Exactly.
measure that emotion, there you go.
Okay, I have at
Um,
least one, so that's fine.
yeah, yeah, exactly. As I said, Sohail, appreciate you coming on and thank you for your insights. And it's an really interesting
Likewise.
company that you guys are building and working in. So if at some point in 2026 we can reconvene and maybe talk about how things have developed and what interesting things are you working on, then I'm more than happy to do it. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, I wish you a wonderful day and hope to see you
Sure,
again soon.
sure. With pleasure. We'll be at the CES on the starting at 2026. So if ever you are there, we'll be glad to meet you there. And yeah, we will definitely catch up on the next
Amazing.
year. Thank you,
All right.
Rick. Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Cyril. All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.